Hmm. No, I actually um, just bought this book, yeah, from Bhikkhu Bodhi. Yeah, because this topic is always in my interest. Uh, the key or like a message of MMI is world peace through inner peace, and it's always tricky to see how our humanity evolve. It's like ups and down, in different moments. So this is a topic that I discuss with Vera a lot while we discussing what we would like to share as a talk or wisdom in Manhattan, that uh, how we can really look into Buddha teaching, which when we trace back 1,000 years ago, there are something similar and different at the same time. And actually, in Pali Canon, there's I think it's not happen often, but there at least one time, two kingdom gonna fight, and then Buddha he come in between, try to stop, and he did that for two time, and the third time they not listen. The first two time they kind of okay, we retreat, we don't do that. So um, he not just someone sitting under the Bodhi tree and do not interact with the society. Many people in the West, not all, but many of them think, oh, just meditate and inner peace and don't do anything about outside world. That oh, Buddhists are kind of you look just into your own inner peace. No, it's not. He actually, I think it's not much uh, told, in the wild. So we see Buddha in the limited sense. Yeah, I mentioned this because some days ago I walked past in Manhattan and I talked to some people who thought they read Buddhism, and they told me this, that oh, he thought Buddhism is kind of uh, just inside, not too much about outside. I said no, not correct. Yeah, we really engage in many ways about charity. About I mentioned different works and organizations that do the groundwork, and not less than many charitable organizations, yeah, in the West. So today, I would like to touch on this. Hopefully, we will have enough time for our discussion. That from meditation room to the global peace, how we're gonna do something about it. Yeah, even a small step. So there are three key points of this lesson. From time to time, I might come back to this theme again because I'm really doing some research right now from this book from Bhikkhu Bodhi, and try to see many sources of the teaching of my master, and also in Western experience, that how they find peaceful solution in different times of the history. So today we're going to touch on the current trends of social disharmony. It looks like increasing, and the root cause of social conflicts mentioned by the Buddha. What is actually the fundamental reason people fight, and why they get into conflict? And the last part, I will discuss on the solution to bring social harmony, and then we're going to leave the floor open for any discussion. I don't need to talk much about this rising conflicts in Russia and Ukraine, and it's sad, for all those soldiers, voluntary or not voluntary, to do it. But more sad is innocent people. Yeah, I'm sure you heard about the pregnant woman who are affected by the bomb. Some survive, but some die. Yeah, the mother and the kid. It's so sad, so sad. She's just in the hospital and want to deliver the baby, and out of nowhere, yeah, innocent people get into trouble. And I'm sure that in this group, you know how things happen in Ukraine, and then its effects around the world, right? And with this, the oil price things, and then the inflation. Yeah, this is May 2022, and that's a chart. Yeah, every year, there's some inflation come up, but it never come this high, 8.6%. Yeah, in the last 12 months, ended May 2022. Yeah, is pretty high comparing to the last 10 years. The inflation and its affects everyone. Yeah, I knew it. I fly from Thailand to US. The ticket price is double. It's unbelievable. It's not 5%, 10%, it's double. And then many one cancel the trip, and I even planned some event this year. I postponed it because it's too expensive or too difficult to persuade people to come to not only America, but anywhere around the world. Yeah. And you hear with the last visit of Nancy Pelosi to Taiwan. Again, I have no comment on the political side, but it's affect the people in Taiwan for sure, right? The war exercise, like they exercise and then they cancel, all the flight in and out. This is something kind of funny. Even Apple company, they have their factories in China. Any pieces need to assemble the phone. If it's written made in Taiwan, the China authority not allow to come into the factory. Yeah, it's kind of this, I don't know how to call this, nationalism or ideology. It really not just the one who fights in the war. It affects wider around the world. And we are in actually globalized, connected world is really happening, and it might affect you in any way. Yeah, so that's a current trend is rising, and it's not like a 1 month, 2 months, this will end. I'm not sure how this thing, there's the book called the Principle for the Changing World Order by Ray Dalio. I listen. It's quite interesting how the history repeat itself. And I think it's our work, how we can really do something or propose something that we can have a better version of the history. So let's explore how we can have a better version of humanity. I think this picture is quite interesting. The healthy soil, right? One side green and forage, and unhealthy soil, lack of nutrient. It's not good, right? So you think about the relationship or anything among person or country, which is loving, kind, you are my friend. Wars or conflicts not look like to happen in that relationship. But one, we have anger, we have hatred, we have what you have done to me, or those kinds of things, and then do not let go. Yeah. Allow the past history to affect the future history of the humankind. Then it's not healthy. So today I would like to share this. Actually, it's a discussion between The Brahmin, it's like some scholar in those days asked the enlightened one, Venerable Mahakayana, which for sure all those teaching come from the Buddha. And then he's an enlightened one who enlightened after the Buddha, used that to respond to the Brahmin scholar in India in those days. So this is a conversation between Venerable Mahakayana and Brahmin Aramadanda regarding the origins of conflict. It comes from the Book of the Two in Anguttara Nikaya, the numerical discourses of the Buddha. And before I show you that quote conversation, I would explain the term that you see in that conversation. The first term. Okay, let's see the picture first. I try to make things not too stress. Yeah, there's a cartoon on those things. This is the caste system in India. And there's some scholar said it's something connect from India to America. the caste idea, it's like a modern day racism. It started 1,000 years back, something like that. So this is the 4 castes in India. There's a Brahmin, priest and teacher. It's like advisor to the king. Khattiya, king or warrior. And then Vaisya, the merchant, is kind of like a middle class in the modern day. And then Sudra, laborer, those hardworking people in the construction site, people working on the road. Yeah, this is 1,000 years ago. It looks similar to what's happening right now, that we still have these kinds of different layer. So Khattiya in the modern day is king and president, leaders of the country. Brahmin, it could be influencer on public and social media. When I say influencer, it includes scholar, it includes artists, include anyone that right now, when they speak, people listen, and then the Khattiya need to take a look on the Brahmin. Oh, what the Brahmin gonna say? Some thought leaders. And then householder. These 3 terms you will see in the conversation: Khattiya, Brahmin, householder. So householder is the general citizen. In these 4 cases, householder supposed to be Vaisya and Sudra. The merchant and then the laborer. Can you follow me? Yeah, good. Thank you. The Brahmin Aramadanda, like a scholar in those days, approached the Venerable Mahakayana, which is enlightened, exchanged friendly greeting with him and asked him, "Why is it, Master Kajayana, that Khattiya fight with Khattiya?" So you can see Mr. Putin, Xi Jinping right now said Khattiya fight with Khattiya, Brahmin with Brahmin. When a thought leader come out, which system is the best? Capitalism, socialism, democracy, communism, but with morality, those kinds of scholar who back up those one in the power, they discuss. And then the people listen, and then householder with householder. So this is Brahmin asks the enlightened one, why leaders of the country fight with leaders of the country, and why scholar, they discuss in a totally different direction. And then the people, chatting on Twitter, on Facebook, and then I agree with it, I don't agree with this. This is a scene 1,000 years ago, and then it's still happening right now. This is the answer, from Venerable Mahakayana. Is it Brahmin because of attachment to sensual pleasure, adherence to sensual pleasure, fixation on sensual pleasure, addiction to sensual pleasure. Obsession with sensual pleasure, holding firmly to sensual pleasures. That's Khattiya, fight with Khattiya, Brahmin with Brahmin, and householder with householder. So, if you say simple, money and power. Yeah, I have more land, I have more oil, I have more resource, money and power, and I'm gonna bring the glory of my country, the glory of my empire back again. Attachment. They want the history to repeat in the way they want, and sometimes do not have complete eyes looking, and for sure fear might intervene that if I not do this, you're gonna do this to me or not, or so it has attachment and then not feel free from those attachment for cooperation. We can discuss more after. And then ascetic, yeah, because of Brahmin Aramadanda, he asks about kinds of worldly people, and Brahmin in those days is not totally spiritual or worldly, kind of in between, and then work with Khattiya. But this is ascetic. It purely philosophy people, thought leading people. Brahmin Aramadanda also asks about ascetic in those days, that they fight also among thought leader and spiritual leaders. That's a pictures of Adam Smith, the fathers of economics. Yeah, he might represent capitalism in some way, and that's Karl Marx. Yeah, who come up with the commune idea. Yeah, and I'm not sure that look like some spiritual leaders in India. Not look like a Buddhist monk. Yeah, some spiritual leader also orange robe, and then the Bible in his hand. Yeah, it's like a Eastern Western spirituality. And the Brahmin asks, why is it, Master Gajayana, that ascetic fight with ascetic? It is Brahmin because attachment to views, adherence to view, fixation on view, addiction to view, obsession with view, holding firmly to view, that ascetic fight with ascetic. Yeah. So you see, right? That the worldly level, they fight over possession, they fight over power. But ascetic, the thought leaders level, some philosophy, some ideas, some system, some ideology, they fight another level. Yeah, and even deeper in this level, we call this not thing. It's a concept that attached to that, and then close eye to the other system, that how that thing could work, yeah, in your ideas. I think this is a challenging situation. I reflect back to what my master, Luang Por Damachio, taught me about the universal sun. Yeah, the sun in the sky that shine to all. But we call the sun differently. And he said, oh, Mang Burin, when you travel, you teach, you just guide them to the inner sun. They might call that inner sun different name. You don't need to fix how to call it, like not go into much detail that will start a conflict, but give open platform that they will find the truth by themselves. So I try to avoid, that comments on politics system, but any system, it should relate back to ethical action. Ethics or some fundamental thing. Is it democracy, capitalism, communism, no matter what? It's just a different way that people call how we live together. But it should be the shining sun, not the darkness. Yeah, I think we can explore more on that, because now when we attach to the term, people who pro democracy or socialism or capitalism, it kind of, we tend to attach to those terms because we already choose it, that this is the side we want. But the Buddha, he recommend that put it down and then observe it from the neutral mind, that nothing really perfect, and try to look deeper, a fundamental level, the root level of any system, anything that is connect to the goodness or not, it connect to the shining sun or not, or it look like the shining sun on the outside, but inside is a deep dark hole of emptiness, in the way that no, there's no substance there. It's just different thing, but look on the outside. Okay, so that's the trend. That's the root cause explained by the Buddha. Worldly people, they fight over sensual pleasure, money and power. Ascetic thought leaders, spiritual leaders, they fight over view, how they view things different. Now it comes to the solution, how to bring social harmony. Yeah. The first one. Wow, how can we overcome attachment to sensual and pleasures? I think in some way, with the sustainability things that's going on, and it's not money alone, environment, people. I think now the force not to like honor those rich people too much is already in some way. However, that's still a challenge. Yeah, a challenge. And how we gonna make it a norm that you cannot run your business, you cannot really make it profitable if you don't care for the social, you don't care for the better environment. I think we're getting to that direction. But this is my insight. How can we overcome this sensual pleasure? I think we need to try our best to promote these kinds of culture. I think that is very challenging for New York, but I'm hopeful. Two antidote to attachment. The first one, moderate living, not keep buying the next thing always, but what is necessary. This is the need or the want. Yeah, if it is needed, okay, spend. If it is want, maybe that money could do something better, not just to satisfy my desire or something that is keep promoting, and then you want one. Yeah, so moderate living, not let outside thing trick you, and then you work hard or you buy into. I think Black Friday is the ultimate extreme on how not moderate living can become a war, can become a fighting, and for what, and sometimes when you look at those clip and video, you scratch your head. But the people who are doing that, they don't think they do something wrong. They might have some good reason to do it for their family, but for sure, they don't understand moderate living in some way. And then the second, we need to promote not just moderate living, but happiness without acquisition. But finally, everyone wants to be happy, but the way they feel happy, they feel proud is different. I mentioned this many times. that the Buddha talked about two kinds of happiness. Happiness bound with acquisition. You need to acquire something to be happy, even if it's a thing, even if it's a possession, even if it's a recognition of my greatness, You feel good when you get something outside. But Buddha said that is happiness without acquisition. Yeah, it actually has a Pali term for both. The first one is amitsuk. Amit is mean things are outside. And then niramitsuk. Nira is like a no. No need the outside thing. So he said that is two kind. He didn't condemn the first one. He said that is two kind. The second kind is foremost, is better. Yeah, the second kind, you have moderate living, you have what you have, and you don't need to fight with anyone, for the limited resort. And then you cultivate happiness without acquisition, which is avoid anything bad, do anything good you can, and then cultivate your mind to be happier, brighter, purer. Then life is less trouble. Because happiness is not outside, it's how I think, it's how I speak, it's how I relate to things around me. So that's my insight on some solution for those conflict and fighting that could be small, it could be big, among nations about money and power. Then, deeper level, how can we overcome attachment to view? So these two persons might represent capitalism and socialism in some way, not completely, but in some way. Two antidote to attachment to view. The first one, for sure, need to start from, you meditate and do not attach to even the level that you feel like, oh, this is who I am. Just be neutral. Then broadening areas of one's own study. Yeah. Maybe you find a way to understand someone you don't like. Why they do what they do. Try to understand, right? I shared this before that Kobe talked about the third alternative, which he said, oh, the Buddhists call the middle way. Point A and point B. Yeah. He said point B, like they're nothing the same, different. You can say capitalism, socialism with two spots. He said, oh, it's hard to find somewhere in between. And he said, if point A truly understand point B, and then point B truly understand point A, understand in a way that they become that person, like really into their head without prejudice. A and B will help create C, this spot, the top spot of the triangle. It's very conceptual, but I think that's the right way. That's the right way that if we try to fight, and then he said, oh, sometimes they feel in the middle. This side, let's have half happy and then half unhappy. And this side, half happy, half unhappy. They look for the day that they will take all. But this moment, I'm not strong enough. Okay, let's do half-half. But they do not let go from their view and try to find maybe something better. It's not that name tag. It's not this name tag, but the new one. I think that thing will happen when we start from broadening areas of one's own study, not just study or read or understand what you like, but something you don't like also try to understand them. And then start to know their concern, start to know what is the option that they could feel happy too. And then I will feel happy too. That's a creative solution. And the second one, I think that is very deep. It might take some time. Deepening meditation and wisdom to uproot all attachment to view. We need to promote meditation, learning wisdom, not only through Buddhism, but any kinds of contemplative practice that go back, fix yourself. I fix myself, you fix yourself. We meet when we are both good. Yeah, in some way. And then no more. This is like a no more war conflict because they don't have that root that will spark war and conflict anymore, uproot all that. Okay, so that is the summary for the lesson today. There's a trend, there's a chord, and some solution. I would like to end my presentation today with this 2 quote. Yeah, one from Kanti. He said, "An eye for an eye makes the whole world blind." And I think war should not be an option. It should be out from the option and try to find other option. And Buddha, hatred is never appeased by hatred in this world. By non-hatred alone is hatred appeased. This is a law eternal. Yeah, fire will not extinguish fire. Is the water. So the one who gonna make change need to be calm and see what is the creative or constructive response when something not look like wholesome come. How you stay calm and then respond in the way it not downward spiral but upward that make a better result for humanity.